Today's shirt, Merida from Brave. If you had a chance to change your fate, would you? Hello, and welcome to the Flores Garden. Today is the first book review that I am going to do. Beguiled by Cyla Panin, or Panin. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that last name. I apologize. To start off, what is the definition of beguile? According to dictionary.com, beguile is to charm or enchant someone, sometimes in a deceptive way. Now the synopsis for Beguiled. Ella would do anything to keep her dreams alive, even make a dangerous deal with the Fae. As a young weaver, Ella's entire livelihood depends on her loom. After her father dies in a debtor's prison, she has to go into debt herself to buy supplies. Then her loom breaks, worse than any repair person could fix, and Ella realizes that her only hope is to seek out the Beguiled, an old washerwoman spirit who will grant any wish for a price. But Ella is desperate, so she has to ask the Beguiled to fix her loom, and it works. All she has to do is feed the loom a drop of blood, and she's able to create the most beautiful silks. Silks that catch the eye of her rich client, Odina, and a mysterious young man named Callum, who offers her an invitation to an exclusive party and patronage for her art. It seems like Ella's fortune is finally turning for the better, until she begins to notice the loom taking more from her than she offered. Now, as she becomes entangled in the lives of the city's rich, swept up by Callum's allure, and trapped by the Beguiled's magic, Ella must figure out a way to secure her future while she still has a future at all. Just like it said in the synopsis, Ella is an orphan. That part was actually left out. She's an orphan, a weaver in debt, and when she gets her rich clients, she'll move up in the world, or so she believes. That's up until her loom breaks. Now, I know I stumbled earlier while reading the synopsis, but I have an excellent reason for that. The Beguiled, which I will include a spelling for that later, is a Scottish creature from folklore. According to Wikipedia, it is a female spirit regarded as an omen of death and a messenger from the other world. The Irish equivalent would be a banshee, and I have trouble with Gaelic, so Beguiled, I practiced that so many times before doing this video as well. I apologize. So in Beguiled, the Beguiled is a woman cursed to wash the same shirt over and over again at the river for all eternity. And she can also grant a wish if you ask her. But every wish she makes comes at a very steep price. When Ella stumbled upon the Beguiled, she wished for her loom to be fixed after it was irreparable. And in exchange for her loom being fixed, she has to pay in blood, her own blood. Each time she uses the loom, she has to prick one of her fingers. So it's not really a lot, just like a little drop. And every time she uses the new loom, she ends up making the most exquisite cloths to sell. And she ends up selling them to two of her clients, Odina and Callum, both of whom are extremely rich. And Ella believes that they are her ticket out of poverty. Now, both Odina and Callum were very suspicious people. Like, just right off the bat, you can tell that there is something really off about these two. And not just because they're rich. When they get a hold of Ella's new cloths, there's something magically odd going on with them. Something very powerful. And I'm gonna kind of stop right there because I do not want to give away spoilers in these reviews. So if you want to know what the cloth does, you're going to have to read it. Now, talking about the characters, starting with Ella, I found her to be very morally gray. She was willing to sacrifice her own morals to get out of poverty. And you don't really see that very often in books, which I found pretty cool. Everyone's always depicted as either black or white. We never ever see anybody in the middle. And that's where Ella fell, for the most part. Callum, on the other hand, when he shows up, he kind of gives off a bit of a charming vibe. Kind of like... it's kind of hard to describe without giving away spoilers, but he's very caring to Ella at the beginning, wants to make sure she's okay, gives her what she needs, calls her special, is always boosting up her self-confidence. Very manipulatively, I might add. And as time goes on, we see that all of the good stuff that he's been saying and doing is just his way of getting what he wants. He is willing to hurt anybody to get what he wants. And lastly, we have Odina, the other important character of the story. From the very beginning, she kind of give off a really witchy vibe. She's not really nice. You just kind of don't like her at first because of how awful she is to Ella. And she has no problem with manipulating and using people at the beginning of the story. But again, as time continues, she ends up doing a little flip where she becomes more hesitant and thinks, no, what we are doing is wrong. We shouldn't be hurting other people. Especially when it goes too far, that's when she puts her foot down and starts to fight back. Overall, I would give this book a 5 stars. It's not very often that I find a book that keeps my interest and has me sitting there making all of these weird, oh snap, faces. Because I am actually very good at keeping my emotions in check while reading. But this one actually had me cry out a few times. 5 stars.
I am free to claim my story, destroy those that stand between. I will rise, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky.